Michael in Grants Pass, Oregon. Hey, Michael, it says you disagree with me, so you got moved to the top of the list. What's up?
Well, that's interesting. Well, thank you very much, Tom. You yesterday were talking about demand drives the economy, and I fully disagree with that. I don't understand how you can say that when, if you look at really the fact is labor drives the economy. As a business owner, I would work hard, build up capital, start a business, and then get supply, and then your demand is on the other end. The demand would take up the product. So no way does that work. You can look at the Soviet Union, which would artificially build up labor, and that's a failure because it's artificially built. And then you have places like Venezuela and other countries that artificially build up demand, and that's been a failure. So I don't understand how you can say demand built it when historically it's just not true.
No, it actually is, Michael, and I encourage you to actually read some economics texts. Go back and read.
I've been reading economic texts since I've been 9 years old, and I'm 50.
Okay, let me just tell you, Michael. I'm guessing you're not. I'm guessing you're not speaking from personal experience of having saved enough money to start a business. Am I correct in that?
I haven't saved enough money to start a business.
I'm asking.
Is that what you're trying to say?
You said a person works hard, saves money, starts a business, and then produces supply, which is going to go into the marketplace. Do I have that right?
Right, absolutely.
Okay. Are you speaking from personal experience?
Absolutely.
Okay. I've started a number of businesses in my life. None of them were based on the assumption that if I produce something, then instantly everybody's going to want to buy it. And what I've seen is that those companies where somebody comes up with a brilliant idea and says, oh, everybody's going to want this, and it turns out everybody doesn't want it, they go broke. What good, smart business people do is they look at the marketplace and they say, there's a need that's not being supplied. There's a market niche that's not being fulfilled.
Magic word there, supply. A need that's not being supplied.
And what is need? It's demand.
Yes,
there's demand that is not being met, and I'm going to meet that demand, and that's what smart business people do, which gets us back to the simple reality that economies are demand driven.
But you can't artificially add demand artificially take money out of one area. Like if I start a business and I have a group of people that buy my product, and I can't take half that money and give it to another half and say, here, I'm going to give you this, if you get my product, I'm going to give you the money or half the money to buy my product.
Michael, you're not making any sense. What drives...
I have to raise my prices to give that away. So you cannot artificially say, like Nancy Pelosi said...
You're making an incoherent argument here, Michael.
Let me finish my argument.
Okay.
Let me finish.
No, actually, I'm not going to let you finish your argument. Because it's nonsensical. Let me just lay this out in a very simple, straightforward fashion. If there are people who want to buy your product and can't because they don't have the money, that's not demand. And if you're offering a product and people don't want to buy it, it's not going to work. That's not demand. Demand drives economies. So what drives demand? People having the ability to buy things. Where does Milton Friedman and all this libertarian economics, this theory that the marketplace has its own unique intelligence come from? Well, there's actually an argument to be made for that. If the wages of people are such, right now, you've got, wages are wherever they are, and a lot of people can't buy extra things because, they're $50,000 in student debt and they're not making the money that they need to make. If you raise their wages, they will have more money. When they have more money, they will start buying things. Now, what they're going to buy is the result of a thoughtful decision that they make. I want this. It might be influenced by your advertising. It might be influenced by the presence of your product in the marketplace. Every revolutionary step, Apple and the iPhone is a great example of that. But the iPhones would not take off if there was not demand, if people did not have the money to buy them. And so if you want to stimulate an economy, increase wages, people will have more money to spend. And if you want to make money as an entrepreneur, If you want to take advantage of the fact that there's increased demand because people have more money, figure out what they want. Or come up with something that will fill a want that they may not even know that they have. This is business 101. It's marketing 101. It's accounting 101. There's no, you say you can't artificially stimulate demand by having me as a businessman give back money. Well, that's a total straw man argument. Nobody's suggesting that businesses should be passing out bucks unless you're talking about wages. And Henry Ford is the poster child for that. Henry Ford was paying $1 a day, and the people working on his assembly line could not afford to buy his cars, and his cars were selling rather slowly. He starts paying $5 a day, and now the people working on his line can actually afford to buy a Ford Model T, or a Model A, actually, back then. And suddenly, Henry Ford's making money hand over fist. Because wages went up, demand went up, and demand went up for the product that Henry Ford was intelligently making. Now, the big challenge for business people is to decide what is a product that I have that actually meets demand, and how do I communicate that in the marketplace? And the first part of that question has to do with how do you craft your message and your product so it actually meets demand. It actually meets a need that people have, a demand that people have. And then the second part of it is how do you communicate that? And that's advertising and marketing. So anyhow, business school 101. Your lesson is over.